Hello. As some of you might know, I had a surgery on Monday and I'm still recovering for this week at least. But I feel that I want to record a bit of a video, and I feel that I'm being called to saying these things, so I feel the urge. So I have to. So what is really coming to me is the topic and the fact that when you get even more disrespected and abused, when toxic people betray your trust, when you try to trust them, well, clearly you're trusting the wrong people if they betray you and hurt you even more, if they are not aligned with you, because you are a sensitive empath person, highly sensitive person, human angel, starseed. Clearly, if they make you feel worse about your trauma, what you've been through, clearly they don't understand narcissistic abuse, for example, or they're just clearly narcissistic themselves or toxic when they belittle your trauma and what you've been through, and likely they treat you like a narcissist would when they put you down as a sensitive person, like saying things like you're too sensitive, or what are you complaining about, or they're expressing to you that they simply don't understand what you've been through. What narcissistic abuse is, they have no interest or capability of supporting you and understanding you and what you've been through and the whole trauma situation. And I know the pain of this because this has happened to me too many times, which made my trauma worse, which made me feel worse, because that is, of course, what it does. It's basically more manipulation, more gaslighting. If they are undermining your trauma, your sensitivity, what you are as a sensitive person, you are so loving and kind and sensitive and giving, and you deserve respect and support, and these people do nothing but turn their back on you and hurt you even more. So you don't deserve it, and it's not your fault. So we always need to keep in mind that it is never our fault. It's never our fault. And no matter what a coach or a therapist you are, like what I'm doing here with my work, I am still vulnerable. I am still a human being, and I can be sensitive. What I mean by that is that, we need to be embracing our sensitivity. Like I've been saying, we always need to love and accept ourselves the way we are as sensitive, kind beings. We are big-hearted, open-hearted beings, so we have to understand that and be aware of that and guard our own energy and our health even more, because we owe it to ourselves to take care of our own lives, our own bodies and minds, our health, everything. Because those people are playing with our health, with our mental, physical, spiritual, emotional health, and it is not acceptable. It is not acceptable. So God is saying to you and to me today that this is just how it is, that we're not here to be suffering from that constantly and constantly and constantly over again. I don't care if you are the president or the king of the world, you are still allowed to be sensitive, and you should be. And every man should be also able to be sensitive and vulnerable and show their feelings and emotions. And of course, it's very sad and unfortunate if those men have been hurt, but it is still not an excuse to hurt women. So we should not be hurting those who never hurt us. So that is also something to be aware of, what I have acknowledged and seen among people when I've been connecting with people. So that, people need to be aware of their traumas and their issues. And usually as sensitive beings, we are the victims. Unfortunately, we can be the victims. But again, I want to repeat it and amplify the message that it is not our fault when we have been abused and used and taken advantage of. It is not an excuse to hurt a kind, sensitive person just because they are kind and sensitive. It is not a bad thing. It is a gift. It is a gift to be kind and sensitive, and you have to remember that you are always enough and you do your best, and that is enough. So you have to give yourself the mercy and the slack and the compassion and the love and the support, and accept yourself the way you are, and stop treating yourself like a punching bag, because you are not a punching bag. You need to set your boundaries and distance yourself from those toxic beings. It is manipulation and brainwashing and gaslighting and narcissistic behavior, narcissistic abuse, if they are just blaming you and blaming you and blaming you and having excuses for their bad behavior towards you, for their abusive treatment towards you. So whatever these toxic people have been doing to you, and you've been deeply traumatized and suffering, so that you've been fighting for your life and for your health and your sanity, and you have not always even known what you should do about it and all of that. I've gone through this ever since I was a small child, and I had nobody there to help me and support me, and help and support is crucial. So please remember, if this resonates, that it's not okay what was done to you. Because the biggest issue and that trap in that trauma is when we encounter these master manipulators, narcissistic people, especially if we are sensitive and kind children. And we need to be able to build trust and build a life, because we've been born into this world. So it is not okay on any levels that we get abused or used, walked over, traumatized, and then we have to deal with that our entire lives. It is simply not okay. It is so unacceptable. But we must realize what is right and what is wrong. And these people don't understand anything. Clearly, they don't understand. So we have to keep in mind that these kind of toxic people, manipulators, they will never take responsibility or accountability like a grown-up person would, like a mature, a smart, a stable, a trustworthy person would. So we have to just be taking care of ourselves, our own lives, taking responsibility and accountability of what we can, because we have to be the examples. We have to be the smart adults, because that's who we are supposed to be. We don't want to be walking around wounded and traumatized and having our inner children hurt. That's not how God has meant for us to live, simply. So they are what they are, and we just have to be letting go of them.